Hey loves, what's up? It's Christina Gisele. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. I post videos on motherhood and lifestyle, and today I'm going to be talking about all the things I wish I knew before I was pregnant. I know that when I was pregnant, there were so many things that I wanted to prepare myself for that I just had no idea about. And now that I'm a mom to an 11-month-old baby girl, I wanted to share those tips with you new moms. So if you're interested in hearing about this, please continue to watch to the end. And because I don't want to make this video too long for you guys, I'm going to be doing a part 1 and a part 2. So continue to watch. So the first thing I wanted to share with you guys that I wish I knew before having my baby is that your birth plan may not go as planned. I know for me, I had a few expectations that I wanted when my daughter was born. I knew I wanted an epidural. I knew that I wanted to have skin on skin once she came out, and I knew I also wanted to cut her umbilical cord. Unfortunately for me, my daughter was a week late. I had to have an induced delivery, which I didn't want to have either. I wanted to have my baby naturally, just an epidural, no Pitocin, but my baby had to come out regardless, so I was forced to do that. I also was not able to have skin on skin because when I did push her out, her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, so they immediately had to look over her. But you know what? After they looked over her, I got to have the skin on skin, and I got to hold her and know that she was healthy. And at the end of the day, as long as it was all over and I knew she was healthy, that's all that mattered to me. So I had to just live with the fact that things did not go as planned. The second thing I wanted to share with you guys is whether or not you want visitors at the hospital. I know for me, I had a few visitors at the hospital, but what I didn't realize after is that I was going to be so exhausted, and having people come visit you at the hospital means that you're entertaining them as you go. I know that I had my parents and my in-laws, and I had a friend come and visit me, and luckily my friend was an experienced mom. She's already had a kid before, so she literally only stayed for like 10 minutes. But I know that my parents and my in-laws, as much as I know they want to see their new grandbaby, they stayed for quite a while, and I was exhausted. Because of that, I made sure that I didn't have a lot more people come visit me, and when people asked me, I just told them that they can just come visit me at my house after I got some much needed rest. So that's a decision and something to think about when you guys give birth. The third thing I wish I knew before was how hard breastfeeding was going to be. I knew that I wanted to breastfeed, but I also knew that if breastfeeding didn't work for me, I was willing to do formula. That is best, and whatever was best for my baby is all that mattered to me. I knew that I wanted to breastfeed, and I had to give it a try, but I wish that I researched it more, that I spoke to a lactation consultant for longer. It was just so hard the first few nights, especially the first night in the hospital, not knowing anything, not knowing that my baby wasn't gonna latch on to me, not knowing that I had to feed my baby immediately. I really didn't have that support of how to breastfeed. And as hard as breastfeeding is, it is also so rewarding. And just know that even though it is hard and I wish I knew more about it, don't give up if you do wanna do it, because it does get easier. Now, the fourth thing I want to share with you guys is something that goes with number 3. Your baby is going to cluster feed at the hospital, and I did not know that. So whether your baby cluster feeds at the hospital or cluster feeds at home, cluster feeding is basically when your baby is non-stop needing to feed. They back-to-back will want to nurse on you for, it could take like up to an hour sometimes. And I had no idea that was a thing. So when I was in the hospital my first night, my baby was crying after I already fed it, and I called in the nurse, and the nurse was like, oh, baby's cluster feed. I didn't know that was a thing. And that's something I definitely wish I knew. So look up cluster feeding and know that your baby may or may not do it. And if it does, it's going to be very hard and challenging. But also just know that they're doing it because they're trying to get all the nutrients and get enough milk to continue to grow. And it will pass. So the fifth thing I wish I knew was that burping is crucial. Burping your baby is so important. You have to do it sometimes before you feed them. You even have to do it after. I know for me, since I'm a breastfeeding mom, every time I was nursing and I had to switch breasts, I had to make sure I burp my baby, because if you don't burp your baby can become colicky. It could have problems digesting. Burping is so important for your baby. So make sure that you're burping your baby as much as possible, because if you don't, you're gonna have to use things like gripe water and something like this that's called the Windy Gas Passer by Frida Baby. Now I have this and I never had to use it, fortunately, because I was always burping my baby because I just didn't want my baby to have gas problems. I didn't want my baby to become colic. But no one tells you that you have to burp your baby as many times until you go to a doctor and you tell your doctor that your baby's spitting up all the time. That's when you find out. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that before you had your baby. The sixth thing I wish I knew before having my baby is that when your baby is born, it's a certain weight, and when you bring it home, your baby is going to lose that weight. And I had no idea. So don't freak out that after you bring your baby to the pediatrician and your baby is a different weight than when it was before. That is totally okay and totally natural. But your pediatrician is probably gonna tell you that you have to feed your baby more, or your baby may even be overweight. I had no idea. So just be aware that that is going to happen. And even if they lose or gain weight, it's totally okay. Your pediatrician will tell you what is best for your baby after you figure that out. The seventh thing I wish I knew was that your baby is not gonna know how to fall asleep on their own. They have no idea how to fall asleep naturally. No one tells you that. They need to be put in a sleep state, a sleepy environment. You have to get blackout curtains. You may have to get a sound machine. You may have to play some classical music. You may even have to hold your baby, because I know for me, I had to do that. But I had no idea that your baby wouldn't just fall asleep once you put it down in your bassinet or in your crib, and that's something I wish I knew. So I hope you guys look into that and know that there are certain ways that you have to put your baby to sleep, like using a swaddler and things like that. So that's something definitely that you should research and look into before your baby arrives. The eighth thing that I wish I knew before I had my baby is your baby may or may not naturally just want to sleep in their bassinet or the expensive crib that you bought them. I had no idea. I bought this beautiful crib, and I bought a bassinet as well because I'm a breastfeeding mom and I wanted a bassinet in my room to me. But I had no idea that when I put my baby down, she was gonna flip out and start screaming and not want to sleep in there by herself. So just be aware that if you have those things, it's totally normal, and the first 3 months are really hard, and it's something that you're gonna have to just adjust to. The ninth thing I wish I knew goes with the last two that I just discussed, was that sleep training is a thing. I had no idea that sleep training existed. Like, I didn't know that you had to train your baby to sleep. Your baby needs a sleep routine. Your baby may need help to sleep in the crib by itself. Your baby may have to cry it out. There's different methods of training your baby, and I had no idea this was a thing. So for you new mamas, make sure you are looking into that before you have the baby, because I had no idea, and it's something that's so important and so crucial in your baby's growth throughout the month. If you want to get sleep, you need to learn how to sleep train your baby. So look out for that and know how important that one is, because I was so lost, and I'm paying the consequence for that now. The 10th thing I wish I knew was that co-sleeping is something that I thought I would never do. I'm not gonna lie, I used to judge moms and be like, why would somebody want to sleep with their baby? Like, of course I'm gonna put my baby in the crib. That's where they belong. Like, I want to have good sleep. I don't want to roll over my baby. But like I mentioned before, if you're not sleep training your baby and your baby is very attached to you and doesn't want to sleep on their own, you may have to co-sleep. And if you do, you have to learn how to do it the safest way, because it is very dangerous, but it is something that new moms have to do. So definitely research co-sleeping. You could even join some Facebook groups about safe co-sleeping. It's definitely something that you guys should look into in case you have to do it, even though you may not want to. The 11th thing that I wish I knew was that your baby may not like pacifiers. I remember putting so many pacifiers on my baby registry. Come to find out, the second I put a pacifier in my baby's mouth, she spit it out. She didn't like it. Or it was too big, you know, she didn't want to suck on it. And then when I went to go buy more pacifiers that would be smaller and something that was more like a nipple, because I do breastfeed, she still didn't like it. So just know that your baby may not like a pacifier. you could give them a pacifier early on and maybe your baby will like it. I know I didn't give my baby a pacifier until like 3 weeks old and she just hated it. So I thought you guys should know that. The 12th thing I wish I knew was that your baby may get baby acne. Oh my God, I had no idea. When my baby was 3 weeks old, she started getting baby acne and I automatically freaked out. I had to go to the doctor. I was like, what's happening? Is she gonna be okay? And she was blotching at little baby acne pimples and little white little spots on her face, like around here and here. And the doctor said that that was totally normal and that it would go away. But I just felt so bad and I wish there was something that I could do. Some people recommend putting like breast milk on it. I know I didn't. I just let it be so that it could just dry up. And it did eventually go away. But during the time she had it, I just felt horrible. So just be advised, mamas, that that may happen and your baby will survive it and they'll look adorable either way. The 13th thing I wish I knew was holding your baby too much or too little. Now, it's not really good that you hold your baby too much because then they'll get attached to it and they'll always want to be held. I know that happened to me and that's definitely something that I'm going to learn from with my next kid. But then again, holding your baby too little isn't that good because your baby needs to feel that connection and comfort with you. So just try to find an in-between, but just know that that's a thing that you have to work on and know about before your baby gets here. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned from all these tips that I just shared with you of what I wish I knew before my baby arrived. I hope it helps you in your motherhood journey. And just remember that as hard as being a mom is, especially a new mom, it is the most rewarding, most beautiful job in the world, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I hope you guys are doing well and you're staying safe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.